You're listening to WTIM, your information station, and our morning show, and it's brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Grayson Bauman. Joining us in this segment is Chris Clark, and Chris is the superintendent of South Fork Schools. Chris, good morning to you, sir. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you. Doing well.
And it's good to see you as always. And Chris, I know the summer months they're rolling in, and hopefully they're treating you well. But you guys still have a lot going on, and that is in terms of projects, changes to curriculum, staffing, whatever the case might be. Let's start thinking a little bit about some of those projects to start things off. You'd mentioned to me in the last go of things, we got a lot of them. Let's dive into them if you would.
Yeah, absolutely. We got just some building projects around the school going on hot and heavy right now. I know we got two brothers tuck pointing up on top of our gym, doing some brick work up there, make sure it's all secure and everything. Once they complete their brick work up there, we got some roofing company coming in and re-roofing our high school gymnasium. So that's kind excuse me, that's kind of the big project going on over at the high school area right now. At the elementary, we are doing a new secured entrance, and they're going to change the door that the public utilizes. It's kind of all broken down. All the walls are cut apart and ready to rock and roll, just kind of waiting on some material, waiting on some doors to slap in there and then make the finished product look nice once we get the doors in, and hopefully we get them in the near future, and we're good to go with those. And I know the custodial staff has been hard at work. They've been over at the junior senior high so far, and the building's looking really, really nice. It's always interesting to see the change in the floors, how it goes from dull throughout the whole year, and then you're walking in there now, it looks like a sheet of ice on top of it. So our custodials do a very, very nice job with those things that we have there, and just keeping up with all of our stuff. So they got odds and ends here and there around the building, but those are kind of our bigger projects for sure that they have going on. So appreciate the work that they're doing and everything they do to keep the school looking good.
I feel as if, yes, the roofing project is obviously going to be a big one anytime you get up top of a big building. But that new secured entrance, I feel, is a really nice little piece to maybe talk just a touch more about, especially being at the elementary school.
Yeah. And we're very fortunate. We have two very able people that we're doing a lot of that work in-house with it. And basically, our elementary set up it's kind of bi-level. So when you walk in, there was a set of stairs, you either went up or you went down. And you kind of had direct access to the whole school system once you walked in the front door of the elementary. We're actually moving the entrance door for the public down just a little bit to the west. There's another door down there that you only had access to upstairs. So, and we built a wall that blocks that off. So our public, when they come in, they will not have direct access to the whole school. They will have to get buzzed in. There'll be a little lobby area, and the only access they will have is directly to the offices. So we can kind of control the people that come in and out of our buildings to make sure we're providing a safe environment for our kids.
Love it. And I think that's always going to be something that's necessary in today's world. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And to have that for the parents of a young child in elementary school, just that ease of mind. So I think that's a big deal there. You guys, and especially when we talked with Kelly too, the changes to the curriculum, I talked to quite a few folks out in the area when it comes to school districts, and you guys are really on top of it when it comes to changes to your curriculum. Tell me a little bit about some of those that we're making this year again.
Yeah, we just actually received our new math K-12 curriculum coming in, and I would say we've been kind of blessed with the money to do these kind of things. The state has kicked up and stepped in and helped, and with the money they're providing, we have prioritized it and said, our curriculum needs to get in line. I think some of I could actually probably find the old English book I used whenever I went to high school back there if I really dug hard enough through some of the closets. But some of that stuff needed to be updated and things, and we just got our big math curriculum in the mail. So So basically, just about every curriculum K through 12 has been updated within the last 2 years. And it's not just going out and buying whatever's on the market right now. Our school improvement teams did a fabulous job of reviewing different curriculums out there, seeing what was best for us. They toured other buildings that were using similar curriculums. So it wasn't just like, okay, we got money, let's buy something, put it in place, and let's go. We really dug in, researched it, and made sure it fit our population, our kids, our teachers were comfortable with it. So we have that buy-in to whenever we go utilize it, that they're going to use it to its full potential for sure.
When I talked to Sasha Young not too long ago, and we were talking about curriculum, I didn't realize how in depth that process of planning for a new curriculum really is. Trying to kind of calculate or guess, where not guess, but using some information as to where our kids are now, where we need them to be, and how we get them there. To know that you guys have updated curriculum for everything pretty much K through 12 is really impressive. I don't think you hear about that all the time.
Yeah, it is. And you make a great point when you say like where you are now and where we want to get to in different things. When you kind of think of curriculum, you thought of a book and how far are we going to get through the 7th grade science book this year kind of deal, and a lot of schools, we are very data rich, but using that data effectively is what we don't do very well. So, anymore, now that you have tools that can use that data and manipulate the data and really do the data in basically a snap of the hand, and you can pull out, trends and things with that kind of stuff, you can really start utilizing that data to drive what you're doing and how you do it. And it's not, we tell them, we don't want you to pick up a book and say, get to page 128 by the end of the year. We want you to, every class is going to be different. Every class is going to have their challenges. Every class is going to have their successes. How you manipulate that and how you do it throughout the year is really going to tell how well those kids grow.
And getting the teachers involved, as you mentioned too, that's a big deal to me, because they're the ones that are going to be passing on this curriculum, and making sure that not only they're okay with it, but that they know how to fully implement it or use it to the best of its ability.
Absolutely, they're the boots on the ground for sure.
So seeing, letting us know that K through 12 has been updated, it's impressive to me. What about next year? It has got you excited. Is there anything right now that, I know you want to enjoy your summer months, and I get it.
Sure.
I don't want to make you turn the page too quick, but what about next year has got you excited?
Well, me being an old math teacher, that's what I kind of come up in with my roots, and that's what I really enjoyed on the side of teaching, was the math side of it. So how this whole new math curriculum kind of gets going and takes off is kind of what I really looking forward to, because obviously as an administrator, you're over everything and you kind of got to know a little bit about everything. But when you do have your passions and your expertise in areas, you can really dive in and help or kind of drive some of that with it. So that math curriculum is pretty nice. I'm seeing kids all over the building this summer. As far as sports, we got a new volleyball coach that's come in. I see basketball; they're all over the place in programs. I know our football program; he's got them in kids like 6:30 in the morning, and about 20 kids, average of 20 kids are coming in. So I'm just really looking forward to see how these kids keep working towards success, because they're willing to put in the work that want to do. And we got a great group of kids right now throughout our school system and our cooperative schools. So just to see them reach the success that they can reach with all the things that they're putting in and efforts they're doing when they don't have to be, that's really what I'm excited about.
And if you're excited about it, then write down the line here. And I know we've got to know each other all right, in the last couple of interviews. Did not know that former math teacher, so I can see where a little bit of personal bias might show itself. But
Yeah.
Obviously, as you mentioned, it's an umbrella. We got to keep a tab on everything there. for next year, what student population wise do we look like? Are we seeing maybe an increase in enrollment? Are we seeing pretty steady? How does enrollment kind of look?
Enrollment for our district has been slowly on a very small decline over the years, with just different availability to jobs and things around the area. So that's kind of been the long term, knowing that we are going to slowly decline. But from what I'm hearing, we did have a very small senior group that's leaving. And from some stuff just with my elementary principal talking to her last night, I think they're predicting the kindergarten class pretty up compared to the number that they thought they were leaving. So, hopefully we're sitting around the 280 number as far as district wide and stuff, and can get even over that and maybe up into the 300s. So yeah, that's unfortunately a trend that a lot of school districts are seeing, is a slow decline in student population.
And you're just seeing smaller communities have folks leaving and going for different opportunities and things like that. And as different jobs and things leave, or whatever the case might be, and you've got to fight it.
Sure. And I mean, a lot of schools, not just the small ones, are fighting some of that stuff. Homeschooling is becoming a lot more popular as you have programs out there now that with the internet access and all the availability with those kind of things, homeschooling has become a bigger, probably not issue, but bigger deal, and more kids are taking advantage of that, and families are, and you can understand families that do some of that homeschooling with different things. And from what I understand, the homeschooling environment has like groups, social media groups and stuff that they can get out and kids connect with and different things. So there are other options out there for kids that maybe they might not have had 20 years ago too, in some of those smaller districts.
So I still am glad to hear that kindergarten class might be bigger, just as big or bigger than that senior leaving class that graduation just happened and not too long ago. Joining us today in studio, Chris Clark, Superintendent of South Fork Schools. We'll take ourselves a short break and we'll come on back with Chris and we'll talk more about South Fork Schools. You're listening to WTIM, your information station.
WTIM. Let's check the markets now on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Kind of a steady trade today with corn, beans, and Chicago wheat. July corn down half a penny, 409 3/4. September corn up 1.5, 406 1/2. December corn 423 1/4, up 3/4. July beans down 4 3/4, 1020 1/4. August beans down 5 1/2, 1024, and November beans down 2 3/4, 1016. July wheat down 3 3/4, 524 1/2. September wheat down 4, 540 1/2. July bean meal 271.80, down 420. July bean oil 52.24, up 42 cents. Livestock trade, August feeders up 40 cents, 302.70. June live cattle up 47 cents, 222.07. July lean hogs 112.72, down a dime. Energy market August crude oil 65.71, up 79 cents.
When it comes to connecting with America's farmers and ranchers, nothing beats the authentic voice of Ag Radio. Farm broadcasters have been the voice of rural America since 1944, building trusted relationships with agricultural producers across generations. Today, the network of over 140 Ag radio stations reaches farmers and ranchers during their most productive hours when they're actively working their operations and making business decisions. What makes Ag Radio uniquely effective? Farmers listen to farm broadcasters for information that directly impacts their livelihood. When your message is delivered alongside crucial weather updates, market reports, and agricultural news, it receives the same attention and credibility. Farm Radio Connects offers agricultural advertisers targeted access to this engaged audience through professionals who understand both broadcasting and agriculture. According to the National Association of Farm Broadcasting, 78% of farmers consider information from farm broadcasters highly trustworthy. When you need to reach rural America effectively, choose the voices they already trust. Visit IllinoisFarmRadio.com and discover how Ag Radio can elevate your agricultural marketing strategy.
Don't risk losing the trusted news, traffic, sports, and weather you get from AM radio stations. It's time to make your voice heard. We need Congress to pass the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act to keep AM radio in cars. When internet and cell services are out, AM could be your only lifeline. Text AM to 39179 and tell Congress to pass this critical legislation now.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
CNB Bank and Trust has been helping open doors for Central Illinois farmers since 1854. Find out why they're among Illinois' top ag lenders by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. Member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Bob Reddings of the Bob Reddings family of dealerships. See our huge inventory of about 2,000 vehicles by clicking on our ad at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
WTIM.
Back around with the WTIM Morning Show here on your information station. Our WTIM Morning Show, it's brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Grayson Bauman, and joining us in this segment, Chris Clark. And Chris is the superintendent of South Fork Schools. We touched on the projects this summer, changes to curriculum, and what's got Chris so excited for next year. Let's talk the summer, though. I made you flip the page just a little too quick. What's summer look like for you right now?
Well, we're busy with state grants, kind of finalizing some expense reports and moving forward on submitting new grants for the upcoming school year and just going through all the paperwork. Obviously, we still have payroll all summer that we need to take care of with different things, but just, kind of getting everything set up that way and making sure that the business side of school is still taken care of over the summer.
Budget-wise, things of that nature.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm sure there's plenty there to dive into. So what about on the personal side for Chris? You got to have that time for you. What's that maybe look like?
Yeah, everybody needs to take that wellness time for themselves and make sure they're good. We got a couple trips planned as a family, really looking excited to those, to get away to I know one of them's down to Disneyland with all the grandkids and everything else. So as much as I say I want to get away from kids, I'm going to be right there in the middle of them all, enjoying a wonderful time down there with our grandkids that we have and our family down there in Disneyland. And I'm also going out to Colorado with a couple friends and my wife and been visiting Red Rock. I never been there before, wanted to go see a concert there. So just some stuff for myself to kind of keep wellness, to keep my batteries charged and refreshed, and promote everybody to go do that, to take care of yourself so you can take care of your job in the long run.
And appreciate the message at the end there, because it does require give and take. It requires that balance. You just can't work constantly and feel that balance. It just doesn't work that way. Heading out to Colorado for a concert, though.
Yeah.
Anybody in particular that you were wanting to see at Red Rocks, and did that work out for you? Yeah,
actually, Eric Church is going to be out there, and that's somebody that we've kind of followed around, and we've seen him in concert several different times. So, and they say that you'll never be to a concert like something at Red Rocks. So we'll have something to compare it to and really see if that venue is all what it is to be. So.
You've got your Disneyland trip. That's still with the kids. And so you got that time, but you also got some, we'll call it adult time as well out in Colorado. Sure. For your teachers, I'm sure you're advocating the same thing. Let's recharge and let's get back to being 100%.
Absolutely. Enjoy your time. Enjoy your families. That's what the thing in life is, the precious time that you do have with your family out there and enjoying it. And I've had the pleasure of actually seeing some of the teachers over time. We had a couple of them get married this summer. Cool. At the wedding, we a couple different weddings, we saw teachers out and about and enjoying themselves and out in the place and just having a good time. So yeah, definitely get out, treasure the time you have, treasure what you have with your family, do it. So we're fully ready to gear up and give it all to the South Fork kids.
Not all bosses probably get invited to weddings.
Well, both of them were family part of it too, but on the side of it, we do see ourselves as a little bit of a family with the small school setting and everything, and very appreciative they were thinking of me and invited me. But again, one of them was definitely family side of things. But we try to treat everybody with respect and everything, and they hope they feel like they're part of our family at South Fork, and we do what we can for them.
when that message comes from the top down, it holds that much more weight. And so I can appreciate that on this end. Well, Chris, thank you for joining us here again. Chris Clark, Superintendent of South Fork Schools. Chris, pleasure as always.
Thank you for having me. Signing out for the summer.
Signing out for the summer. Enjoy it. You're listening to WTIM, your information station, and our morning show.
The Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylorville. 96.1 FM Taylorville. 107.5 FM Shelbyville.